Welcome to the LendAPI Partner Podcast. I'm your host, Rutger van Fassen, and today my guest is Ram, who is co-founder at Sei AI. Let's dive right in, Ram. Tell us how your business got started.
Thanks, Rutger. So the actual idea came in just over a year ago, based off of my previous experiences in financial institutions like PayPal and TransferWise, where I was mainly an engineer and a product person there. One of the usual cribs from the product teams would always be that why is compliance standing in the way of us growing very fast, right? But
Yep.
now, like coming to see the other side of the equation, which is that the regulators and the compliance folks are actually trying to do something good for the company, which
Mhm.
is not only to protect the downsides, but fundamentally regulations are just about consumer protection. And ironically, the more consumer friendly you are, that's probably the easiest way to sort of grow your business and you as a brand to sort of stand out, right, amongst your competitors, right? It's
Yep.
a weird thing that not a lot of people will realize that the more you listen to your customers, the better off you are building like a long-term scalable product, right?
Yep.
So it started off with that, having seen issues around, uh, for example, if a company wants to launch a new marketing promotion,
Mhm.
the biggest concern would be that, like, what can I say and what can I not say, right? And a
Yep.
lot of things, there are a lot of regulations are predominantly very subjective. It leaves a lot of room for interpretation,
Mhm.
rightfully so, right? Which means that you need the judgment of a human to come in and say that this looks right, this doesn't look right, right?
Yep.
And there are things where even with AI, you still need a human to come in and say that, hey, this is where I come in and this is where I make a decision. But it
Yep.
so happens that 90% of the other things can be automated. For example, if a company is making a statement that is, for example, let's just say you're making like an extravagant superlative claim, right?
Mhm.
I'm the
Yep.
best financial product in this industry or whatever, right?
Yep.
Those are easier things for an AI to come in and catch, right? So that's one of the
Mhm.
AI agents that we have built, which is that helping financial institutions sort of get quick feedback on their promotional campaigns, right?
Yep.
So the second AI agent is what we think is a lot more interesting,
Mhm.
is where a company typically has customer support and sales, which are your direct point of contacts to your customer, right?
Mhm.
So any interaction that you have with your customer, one, obviously the agent should not make a violation of the regulations, but number two is it gives the company an opportunity to actually listen to customer complaints and take the voice of the customer back to the product, right?
Yep.
uh, till now this is a bit of a problem because the data is unstructured, right? It can be in text, chats, emails, it can be in calls,
Yep.
whatnot, right? But
Mhm.
for the first time, with multimodal AI and the rapid advancements in LLMs, you could literally take in any data and
Yep.
compare against your regulations, your internal policies, and we can also try to extract unique insights that would otherwise be lost and synthesize those insights into like an easily digestible format for your product and engineering teams to act on it.
Yep.
So that's literally been our journey. Started off focusing a lot on the consumer protection, regulatory compliance bit,
Yep.
but now as we talk to more and more companies, we are realizing that it's not only a regulatory compliance problem; it's my customer complaints problem. It's the voice of the
Yeah.
customer problem. Like I, as a like an exec or like head of product or whatever, right? I want to
Yeah.
literally understand like what are my customer pain points.
Yeah.
So what we are seeing is that compliance and growth can actually coexist basically.
Yeah.
And these need not complaints need not be considered as a cost center, but complaints can actually contribute to the bottom line for company.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. So you were facing this yourself when you were on the other side, right? When you were
Yeah,
working at different companies, and then you
yeah,
decided, hey, people need help with this. Let me start my own company
Yeah,
to help companies do this better, right? To
yeah,
be more compliant, but also listen to customers and
yep,
understand complaints to
yeah,
improve experiences. That's
yeah.
very interesting.
That's probably the
What would you?
unique insight
Yeah,
that we had, which is that
yeah,
regulatory compliance is just consumer protection. That's it. And the
yeah.
more you listen to the customers, the better off. That's the
Yeah,
bottom
no,
line.
that is very good. What would you say is your number one use case that you solve for? What the majority of your customers? What is the use case that you solve for?
The number one use case is how do I ingest all of the customer conversations that happen across different
Hmm.
channels? How do I
Yeah.
ingest all of those into like a centralized platform? And then
Hmm.
how do I extract insights and also compare the conversations that are coming in against policies? The policies could be regulations, the policies could be internal guidelines. So how do you
Yeah,
compare and how do you extract insights? That's like the
that's
number
a
one
key.
insight that
Yeah,
that
and
people
that
see.
seems very good for AI, right? Especially policies can be quite lengthy documents, and we have much more data on customer conversations. So having those two large data sets, comparing that, I think AI is a
Yeah,
perfect
that's
tool for that.
probably the product market fit for AI, literally,
Yeah,
where you have like multimodal data and you have large volumes of data, and
yeah,
with like longer context models, and AI is starting to reason now with the advancements with O1 and other models.
yeah.
This problem space is literally built for AI.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Now, tell me one of your favorite customer stories.
Yeah, there's a few of them, but I can single out one where
Hmm.
um, there is this bank that we are working with, right? So this bank onboarded a fintech partner, and I think it was FDIC who came in and said that, hey, bank, this fintech partner posted about something 3 years back, right?
Mm,
Uh, why did you not check it, right? And the bank is like,
right.
this is like 3 years back data, and how can I sift through all of the tweets that this partner used to make, right? And
Yeah,
how can I synthesize and how can I first figure out like what are the relevant tweets that I need to look at, and how can I sort of compare against the regulations, right? It's not humanly
yeah,
possible, and it so happened that the last 10-15 years, most of the tooling that came in the regulatory compliance space were mostly workflow and document management.
yeah,
Uh, None of these tooling were able to. I mean, you have to like not only ingest and manage workflows, but you have to actually deliver the outcome for the customer, which is that is this good marketing material or not? Is this
yeah,
customer support conversation in line with my policies, right? So
yeah,
this kind of judgment was left to the humans, and even if the tool was automating it, a lot of this were rules based, which might be good to figure out like the low hanging fruits, but it's prone to a lot of false positives.
yeah,
But with AI, we were able to like ingest all of this data within a day, and literally tell the bank saying that, hey, these 10 tweets which happened in this year, this month,
yeah,
actually sits against your violations, basically.
yeah. So that's a great example of what you were describing with your use case, right? A large
Yeah,
data set using AI to basically sift through that, and
yeah,
then bringing the human in the loop to make
yeah.
the human decisions to sort of say, is this acceptable or
Correct.
is it not acceptable? Is the
Yeah.
FDIC going to be upset about this or not?
Yeah, finding the needle in the haystack, and like you like rightly pointed out, we don't want to automate humans away, but we want to like eliminate some of these low hanging fruits, like
Yeah,
repeatable mundane tasks for a human, so that
yeah,
these complaints officers can come in and apply their judgment on the most important things. uh, that's really the key. They're looking at us as like agents that can help complaints officers, uh, like it's almost like a checker, checking the checker sort of a thing, where
right.
we are checking
Yeah.
it and you come in and check our results, basically.
Yeah. Now that is a great story. And I think that's also a great point to wrap it up today for today's episode. To learn more about Say AI, check out the description on the LendAI marketplace. Thank you, Ram, for joining us today.
Thank you, Rutger.
And thank you for listening. And see you next time on another Lend API partner podcast.